The third eye, how long have we been waiting for these guys? And wow, did this episode really drag out that fucking waiting time. Yes, this episode, as excited as I was to have the third eye appear, yeah, they really, like, half of this episode was just filler, and it really annoyed me. Not gonna lie, I was getting a little bit upset at this episode where I was like, at points where I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that went down, but sure, why not? Like, a good chunk of this, like, a good chunk of the episode would make sense where it's like, we're seeing things from the side of Noelle and, like, Marco and all the other kids where they're like, oh yeah, let's see how like, everyone's doing, but we just saw the old lady, saw that she was fine, and seeing more kind of from their perspective. Same thing where it's like, we got a little hint as well from, like, the Green Mantis, like, fucking her guy, where he's like, oh, by the way, I heard, like, some of the other people are coming around to go and investigate this right now. Same thing with Yami, so, like, Noelle is kind of caught up on the situation. However, they didn't only just try and do it with that, they tried to drag it out longer with Asta, like Gauche and everyone else, and it kind of made them look a lot more fucking stupid, where it's like, oh, Finral can't use his magic, guess we just gotta stay here, literally with the fucking big bad guy in front of us. Let's just try and bind him. See how it originally worked in, like, in the manga, how this entire scene played out was they defeated him, they took care of the problem, and, like, it was like, oh wow, oh here, let me do this binding spell real quick. Then the third eye fucking appears, and it's like, oh shit, we didn't even have time. It makes the third eye very lackadaisical to the whole scenario, because the whole ending of the episode was like, oh, looks like we need to go out and help Leet, and then it's like, no, like, it makes it look like they've been waiting around for half an hour or so. Like there's just inconsistencies with the episode, and I'm like, you just had to keep, like, just drag it out, and I'm like, still to this point where it's like, we're still having just one chapter, or just they're adding these scenes in. Like, I think it was even worse with, like, one of the episodes even in this arc, where they changed a scene for, like, no apparent reason. Even it wasn't a runtime thing, it was more like they just changed one scene with, like, the mud golem guy, where he's like, he was able to actually, like, he didn't actually was able to use magic whilst in the bindings. It's like, well, what's the fucking point of these bindings then if they can still use this stuff? You know, there's stuff like that where I was like, oh, I'm really annoyed, because I like the third eye on there, but wow, you could tell from, like, this episode and all that, yeah, they were really trying to drag out these guys, and especially with the ending. I really did like the ending of this episode, but you get to see Raiha, you get to see Vito, and of course Fana, which I think a lot of people were caught up. It was that, and that they spoiled one thing for me as well, and I don't like. It is a scene between Gauche and Leet, and I feel like they outright kind of spoiled something heavy with that, because I went back in the manga and they're like, that's not there, that's just a small little notification about something, but it's like, no, they were just kind of like going a lot more heavier with this scene. It would have just been a throwaway bit of dialogue for the anime for the most part, but it's like, no, there's kind of going a little bit more into it, and then there's just flat out kind of spoiling things with that. So yeah, like, I'm not going to explain too much more of the scene, but just know that, like, that wasn't how it was in the original manga. It's just like, there are just scenes where it's like, why? Like, why do we need, like, and here's the thing, where it's like, I think, like, a perfect adaptation of the series shouldn't be 100% fucking faithful to, like, the original. I feel like sometimes, like, the manga has, especially with this anime, it has helped with certain characters, where it's like, they fleshed them out a little bit more, but then it has brought out the worst in certain characters. Like, it's made me hate Gauche more than I ever had. It really got on my nerves quite a bit with Finral. I think Finral was like, those are the two characters out of so far that we've seen in this adaptation, I think that got it the worst, probably next to Charmy. But, like, especially when we saw this episode, it's like, we saw the third eye. They appeared and they were intimidating as hell. Like, right, like, comes straight in, and he immediately like, oh, that's an interesting grimoire. Let me have a look at that. Immediately understand that he has light magic and that he can copy magic as well, where it's like he's using stuff from, like, Lee, and finding out already that these guys are serious, because even Elite is like projecting that these guys are stronger than Elite himself, which is like, it's weird the fact that it's like the leader is weaker than is weaker than his actual kind of like enforcers, like his elite people. It's like, these are the three strongest pillars that he has to deal with this, and it's like, you got an injured Yami, you've got Finral there who's completely useless at this point, and then you've got Gauch as well, who's just used all of his magic on there. But when you even see this, so it's like they're completely healing Elite, and it's like, we need to deal with the situation now, because we could have a four fight like between some of their strongest people, and it's like, that is concerning. And we understand that Raya, like with this, is like, you understand, like Raya has this insane copy magic and light magic that he's able to use. Vito has a beast magic where we only get to see in this like episode where he gets to just use the claws. And with Fauna was the one where it's like, she has a spirit magic on the same level as Yuno. It's this salamander that she's got on her shoulder, where she's actually like blowing this in-course of like fire, and like understanding that like out of just the amount of, like, it's almost like how petty he is and all that for the most part. It's like, you get to see, it's like, oh, the whole three-leaf clovers that we get to see of like the others. It's like, we're gonna have like Raya the disloyal, Vito the despair, and then Fauna the hateful. It's like, I'm gonna have the opposite of love, trust, and like, you know, all the other stuff on there. It's like, no, like he's like these are the three epitomes of how I feel about towards your like country, and I've put them into their names. And like, and I kind of like, there was one bit that was really weird and all that. It's like where Yami's just like, names don't mean shit. Okay, like, it doesn't matter, we just have to find out if you're strong or not. But like, so like, I'll say to the voice actors, because I know the voice actors was a thing, whereas like the guy that he's based off Raya was like the actual guy voicing him. I'm like, you know what, he's fine. I honestly, like, I know, like, I was looking at the chapter, I really don't like the whole like, I guess it's the anime just kept going back with the yawn and stuff like that, and even the fucking little tiny petite Clover that they have really made that a thing with him. And I'm like, I'm kind of glad they got rid of that thing with Raya, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't do that anymore. And it's like, he just maybe does it one time, but it's like every fucking line he was speaking, that's like, oh, come on. Like, it's just this same shit where it's like, everyone has to have this one gimmick, and then we just gotta drag it to the fucking ground. That's how I always feel with the show. But overall, it's like, the episode had like some really good looking moments in this part, where it's like, when like Yami was going against all three of them, it looked gorgeous at certain parts when they were like fucking him up, breaking his blade, and you're like, holy shit, he's there like trying to buy time for them and all that. It's like, no, I might be going down here. And with like the episode ending with like the captains getting involved, where it's like, you get like Jack the Ripper, you get Charlotte, you got Nozzle all getting that. That's where I was getting excited. I was getting really hyped for that stuff, and it's just like, it is, again, this show, like, where it's like, again, I love, like, I was talking about last week, where it's like, that's probably my favorite episode of the show, and it's like, this second half was fantastic, but I did not like this first half of this episode at all, and that's a problem when we're on a 20-minute runtime, and it's like, I have issues with 50% of the stuff I'm being watched right now, and it's like, it is unneeded, and it's like, clearly they keep doing this because they want to end it at a certain part. It's like, either after this arc they're going to end on filler, or if not, they're going to end right at the War Temple. And it's whether or not like they want to do that or not, we'll have to honestly wait and see. Like, because we've got the novels as well. It's like wherever they want to end it at this point, it's just every time where it's like, at first they were hinting that they wanted to go to the Witch Arc. Now they're going somewhere completely like, now it seems like we're going to the War Temple. If it continues like this, then fuck knows where we're going on that. And considering where like a lot of like period shows have been, where it's been like, let's have a filler ending, they probably might try and do that if the show is like, don't worry, because I know Twin Stars did that, and Twin Stars, at least like I watched the eight episodes and all that, and apart from like production issues, I didn't mind it so much, but I know they were changing a bunch of stuff around if they wanted characters in early, and a bunch of stuff, like, because I know a lot of the filler in the earlier episodes, so like Black Clover was like, we want to have more Yami scenes, we want to have like see more of some of these characters, but they just didn't work in certain areas. Like, I still think this content that they were showing is not the worst of the worst that they've ever shown. I still think like that horrible grudge that, like, of the first 13 episodes, that is fucking terrible. Like, some of that filler stuff is horrific. I'm, like, going back, watching it in the dub, I'm like, yeah, this stuff is really fucking bad at some points, and it's like, you can tell with, like, the actors, they are like, trying to spice this stuff up, but it's like, you can feel the actors forcing it sometimes, where it's like, you can kind of tell where some of this stuff in quality is, like, downhill. It's a shame, because I love this. I love Academia. I'm loving both of the shows right now. Both of, like, the shonen shows out there. I'm like, yes, give me more of this. This is more treats that I need. Like, give me that little fill on there. And it's like, and I'm loving both of the mangas right now. It's just like, but then again, it's like, this is the one where it's like, oh, why you have to be the problem child? And it's, I hate that because I like you as well. And it's like, I love a lot of stuff that, like, Clover does, but it's just like, yeah, no, I think this is more a Period thing than it is a, thing where it's like, Period is the most love-hate relationship where, like, they have some gorgeous episodes like you have last week, or, like, they have some incredible moments where they enhance, like, I still think, like, it's more, we've had 60% of more enhanced stuff than, like, the earlier stuff in the manga, but then as well they've made stuff worse from there. It's like, it's so weird, and it's like, I feel like definitely when, like, this series ends, I might have to do a whole big video saying, would I even recommend the anime? Would I just recommend going the manga? I'm still at this point where it's like, maybe I should say, just read the manga, and then if you want to know the anime with certain scenes and episodes, go there, because it is, you know, it's so weird, but it's like, the parts I liked, parts I didn't, and it's a half and half episode. If I gave a rating to the second half would be like a 7.5 to me. Like, I really like it. The first half, it's like, it's a fucking 5. It was like honestly just meh. It was either 4.5 to a 5. It was really just like meh. I'm like, please, can we get this over with and all that? Like, this is the stuff that we want to see and all that. This is where, like, the show gets a lot better, and it's like, Period's like, nah, let's just do this instead, because we really just want to make sure that we have about, like, they're probably just going to cover up to, like, 60 chapters or something, so it's like, just, they really want to do that, and it's like, fucking Christ. So we'll see where it goes and all that, but let me know what you guys think in the hot section down below. That's all from me. Thanks always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.